Today, we'll show you how to streamline your project management by using a single project to produce different products. You'll learn how to create and manage recipes, clear and edit them, and use various functions to optimize your workflow. By the end, you'll be able to efficiently handle recipes, perform offline simulations, and transfer data between your HMI and PLC. Let's get started. To create a recipe, navigate to the menu bar, input a recipe name, and add the recipe data information. You can choose between discrete external address or continuous external address. For this project, we will go with the continuous external address, LW0. Now you can add in the data information. In the general interface, you can add the Clear Current Recipe function. When LB0 is on, the current recipe will be cleared, and after clearing, set it to off. Similarly, you can select Clear All Recipes with LB1. When this address is on, all current recipes will be cleared, and after clearing, set it to off. For the operation register, set the address to LB2 for the recipe operation bit address, which has a total of 21 bits. When on, the operation is performed, and it is set to off at the end. You can insert a line above when LBZ is on, insert a new group below when LB3 is on, copy the current recipe group with LB4, cut it with LB5, and paste, replace, with LB6. Additionally, you can copy to the next line with LB7, save a snapshot with LB8, recover the initial value with LB9, restore the snapshot with LB10, upload data with LB11, download data with LB12, delete the current line with LB13, and delete all formula groups with LB14. Reserved operation bits are LB15 to LB22. Use the status register LW4 to trigger recipe operation status, which includes 9 statuses in total. LW4-BORT1 for command executed successfully, LW4-BORT2 for the selected record does not exist, LW4-BORT3 for unknown command, LW4-BORT4 for record reaches upper limit, LW4-BORT5 for other commands being executed, LW4-BORT6 for download failed, LW4-BORT7 for upload failed, LW4-BORT8 for command not executed successfully, and LW4-BORT9 for properties unsaved. You can enable all recipe CSV import export. Afterwards, let's set the max number of recipe groups to 20, which will modify the address of recipe storage. The word address range will be set to the recipe length times the max number of recipe groups, and the word address index range will be 0 to 2 since there are 3 recipe lengths. Set the external address as the recipe index using LW10 for now. Select Recipe and then Recipe Display in the component menu, setting the display format to 2D list. Click Edit to edit the recipe table, set up the pop-up keyboard, numeric and character keyboards, and go to Data Settings to select the data source, choose all channels, and show their titles. Customize the table as needed and enable the search function, which can search by keyword, group, or range. Set the search trigger bit to LB20. Search register to LW20. And keyword query to LWB21.0. Export the CSV and set the trigger register to LB0, adding the export position. Set the levels of conditions to your preference in the control settings and select Display to locate it in a specific area. Add any necessary function buttons, although the operation register is already added. Add operations buttons from LB0 to LB14, select Switch, and set up the address and action of the switch. Add indicator lights to read from the same address as the switch, place graphics and labels for better visualization, and multi-copy the switch to select the desired columns and rows. Use a word register, LW4, for feedback needed for the operation system, and add labels to identify each operation properly. Place the component in the window and use offline simulation to view and modify the table. For the recipe data display, set the search register to LB20. For the next channel, use the following register, LW21. Set the keyword query to LW30 to avoid conflicts. Add a search switch function with the address LB20. And add indicator lights with the same address as the switch. Set numeric value inputs for specific recipe information, address type LW, address 20, and multi-copy for additional channels with continuing addresses. Set the keyword trigger bit from LW30 bit 0 to bit 2, activate the indicator light, and add the next address. Set up the export register with the correct address, and use offline simulation to test the search function. To get to figure out where is the file located, you can go into your document file in your device and select Flexmatic Studio, Projects, the folder name, Temp, Disk, MI, CSV recipe, and your data will be there. This download button is the Export CVS. When pressed, we will be able to find it in our files, the data from the table. Let's move it to make it more visible. Now can add download and upload in case there is data that should be copied. We can transfer it from one row to another utilizing this function. Go to Recipe Transfer, select Component, then Switch, and then Recipe Transfer. Add Download Recipe to PLC and simulate the HMI to the PLC. Use the register as a PLC address, input LW50, create a numeric value input with address type LW and address 50, and multicopy to address 52. Add upload from HMI with the same value, 50, and use offline simulation to test adding numbers to channels and exporting numbers. Now we can use the external address recipe index, which is for the recipe group. Set it up to LW60. In this recipe, the index value should range from 0 to 19. We can use a macro to map the recipe group to the actual address of the table's values. First, we need to add some address states, setting them as a word register for both group and output. Next, we use the readWordRegister getWord function to set up the address alias, constant value, and variable name. Select Insert to add it to the code. Then, add another one with a variable b. When the group network is at 1, the actual network will be group 3, so the actual address of the group network will multiply by 3. Now, set the word register. We can then add numeric value input to the address LW60 and use multi-copy. Add a numeric value input with the address from the RPW recipe, ranging from 0 to 2. We have to also add the address index in which is LW61. This will be the first element's value for the first recipe group. Click Offline Simulation to view the value of the first group. Additionally, you can add a timer trigger to run the macro when the window is open. This way, when running, you can get the value of each group's elements. Once everything is done, you can view it again in the offline simulation. Hope you enjoy.